Monica and Diane asked me to share my testimony about how LeadHer has impacted my life in a short amount of time. But first I needed to share with you my journey of the soul, if you will. Back in September 2010, after years of trying to conceive my second child, I had a miscarriage. It was in this season of pain and struggle. I found myself in the bathroom, on the floor, sobbing and crying out to God, asking why. Why me? Why us? We were good people, and this shouldn't be happening. I struggled to find peace and understanding in his decision. I was saying that I trusted him, but my heart was having really trouble surrendering to his will. I asked God in that moment to please walk with me through everything I was about to go through, to really show up in a real way. That day my eyes were made clear, and I saw 3 signs that he had given me to cling to for hope. Can you imagine my surprise? At first, I wanted to believe that it was a series of coincidences and that I was reading into things, but I just knew it was from him. It was him showing up. In my deepest moment of pain, I saw God's true grace. After that time, I started making God more of a priority in my life by doing daily devotions and spending more time in prayer. I prayed that God would reveal his will in my life and that my eyes and ears would be made open to this and the many gifts he was pouring on me. I wanted more of him. I wanted to experience him like I did the day in September. I didn't want to miss his little blessings and ways he was working in my life. Somewhere around April or May of this year, I had a friend of mine ask me to consider signing up to be a leader at my MOPS group. I was quick to say no, and that I didn't feel comfortable taking that role. A few weeks later, I was approached again by another friend, and she told me that my name had come up several times as a potential leader, and she asked if I was really sure that I didn't want to. I again offered up more excuses of why I shouldn't and couldn't do it, and left it at that. MOPS ended, and that was it as far as I knew. During this time, I began to see Facebook comments going on between Diane and Monica about LeadHer, and wondered, what is that? So I messaged Monica, and she briefly told me what it consisted of, and that she really liked it, or would really like it if I would think about coming to the first meeting and checking it out. I agreed because I had been looking for a Bible study group to join, and so I thought, okay, sure, why not? If anything, this gives me a night out. I went to the first meeting and left really excited and wanting to join. What I didn't expect was this overwhelming sense that I had something to give, something that I could do within the group. So I went home and I really began to ask God again for his direction and for him to show me what my talents were and how I could contribute. About a month ago, Diane posted on LeadHer Facebook that we would be discussing obedience next month. She suggested reading a book by Lisa Tersick, What Happens When Women Say Yes to God. Now I can tell you, and anyone who knows me can attest to this, that I am not a reader. I pick up a book every great once in a while. Something about the title of this book, though, intrigued me, and so I borrowed my dad's Kindle and I read the whole book in 2 nights. Thankfully, it was a quick read, because otherwise I am sure that I would have eventually put it to the side. Lisa's book really resonated with me. It shook me to my core. It spoke to all the things that I had been thinking and praying about for months. Approximately 3 nights later, I received a phone call from my friend at MOPS, who had originally approached me to become a table leader. She explained to me that the woman who was supposed to be heading up our table was not going to be able to fulfill her commitment. She proceeded to tell me that she asked another girl at my table, but she didn't want to do it and was not really comfortable in doing so. She then asked the inevitable, would I consider it again? Here I had already turned down this twice before, and yet it was in front of me again. there in that moment, I heard a pretty loud voice inside me that I felt was saying, "You better do this." I knew that it was the answer to my prayers and that God was working. Just 3 months ago, I didn't even consider myself a leader. While I am still not 100% comfortable stepping out as a table leader, I am trusting God has put me in this situation for a reason. I am trusting Him enough to say yes. As I reflect back on the last year, I can see where God has clearly turned my pain into something great that I might have otherwise missed. Every step of this last year has prepared me for this moment with LeadHer and given me the courage to say yes.